everyone, I'm Josie and welcome to my channel. Today my husband and I are going somewhere that we've been meaning to go to for the past year. We are finally going to New York Mart in Sunrise, Florida. And it's this Asian grocery store that's been around for a bit, but I heard it's also one of the biggest Asian grocery stores in this area. When I say this area, it's technically a 45-minute drive away from where we live, which is in the neighborhood of Edgewater. But I'm excited because I heard they have even more stuff than what was featured in my iFresh video that I put up a few months ago. So I'm really excited because I'm hoping they have some Peking duck, and I'm looking forward to stocking up on a whole bunch of hot pot items, and just really looking forward to showing you what else they have. So we're on our way right now. When we get there, I'll show you around. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Your destination is on the left.
Thank you. So we just arrived here at New York Mart, and you should have saw us earlier because my husband and I were looking around at this plaza, and the first things we saw were 1010 Seafood Restaurant as well as a Pho 79 restaurant, and we were like, maybe we should eat before we go to the grocery store, but I was like, that might be a bad idea, so we'll probably have to say that for next time. But we are here and we are excited to check out what they have. A little bit of a bummer, I really did not get to film in the New York Mart here in Sunrise, Florida, because right when I entered, a lady said no filming, so I didn't film. But I will show you the haul that we got when we get home later. And the good thing is, at least they did have a little boba stand for us to get some goodies. We got yan yan, as you can see here. And hits the spot. I got the red bean pudding milk tea boba drink, 50% sugar, and it's still sweet perfectly. So for those who are watching their intake, you can request to change the sweetness of your boba drink. Oh, I should mention one other thing. This New York Mart here in Sunrise is essentially almost exactly the same as the iFresh in Miami Beach. The stores basically had essentially the same thing. The Sunrise New York Mart actually had more fresh produce on stock, and actually there were a lot of workers there, like almost as if there were overstaffed. There were just a bunch of people waiting, walking around, almost one person per aisle. So that was kind of surprising. And another surprising thing that I saw while we were there was there were cameras almost in every aisle too. So that kind of made me a little paranoid to film. But again, like I said, if you've been to the iFresh in Miami Beach, it's essentially the same. Just again, it's a little bit more established. The produce is a lot more than what they had when we went to iFresh, but essentially the concept is the same. The aisles, the setup, all of that. You're not missing out on too much, except for the difference would be again, they have the boba that you can get, as well as there used to be a section that you can buy like pre-made food, but they currently have it closed. So that basically means no Peking duck, but hopefully maybe sometimes in the future. Anyhow, the hot pot haul was a success, and I will be filming our hot pot later. All right, I am home now, and this is basically the haul that we bought when we went to New York Mart. I got a few other items behind me, and I'll show you what those are. But essentially, one of the things that we usually get when we go to an Asian grocery store are noodles. My husband is a big fan of the spicy noodles, so he generally gets those. And then of course, as I mentioned before, I said I was going to be stocking up for hot pot, and we did that. So we got a few fresh sliced meats as well as fish balls, meatballs, whatever you think of that comes to mind when having a hot pot. We essentially got that. So this is lamb sliced for hot pot. This is beef slices for hot pot. We got 2 of those because beef is pretty popular. Some imitation crab meat, some fish ball with roe. Now, funny thing with fish ball with roe is we couldn't find this for a while, and I feel like right now there's a kimchi shortage, but in reality, I feel like there's a fish ball with roe shortage. When we went to New York Mart, we got the last 3 bags. So I don't know what's going on, but this is not the first time it's happened where I've gone to another Asian grocery store and I couldn't find it. But if you find yourself some fish ball with roe, get it, because for some reason there seems to be a shortage. And I love when eating hot pot, the burst of the roe that you get in your mouth when eating it, especially when it's piping hot. It's like, of course, gonna burn your tongue a little bit, but that's what I enjoy about it too. I don't know, there's something about fishball roe. We got a couple of items in relation to flavoring our hot pot broth, and so one of them is spicy for my husband. Little Sheep is a pretty good brand that we usually get. And then I got myself some mushroom. Of course, with any proper hot pot, you have to get fresh veggies as well. So bok choy is a popular item that I get. We got a couple of them, these 3 items. I like to get a variety of mushroom. We got this mushroom, shiitake mushroom. I love me some Napa cabbage, some watercress, beach mushrooms. And as I mentioned before, you have to get your meatballs. So we have pork meatballs, beef meatballs, fish balls, in addition to the fish ball with roe. We also got some pork dumplings with shrimp, tofu. And eventually when I get my roasted duck, we can stuff them in these awesome leaf buns. One of the other things that I noticed when we were shopping at New York Mart in Sunrise versus the one in North Miami Beach is that they offered a bigger selection of sake as well as beers. The one in Miami Beach did not seem to have any beers. Also, their selection of sakes were less, but presented nicer. And that essentially concludes our haul from New York Mart. Now it's time for Hot Pot. Now I'm making the non-spicy broth for Hot Pot, and all I have here is 5 cups of water, 2 cubes of chicken bouillon, a few Chinese dates. This is what they look like. Technically, it takes a couple of hours to get the real true flavor out of these Chinese dates, but for now, this is okay. And then I also have some lychee. This is what they look like. You can actually put however much you want. I just put maybe like a quarter of a cup, a handful. And then here, it's really up to everyone, but I like a little bit of ginger in my broth, and I've already cut up some ginger and I froze it. So just put a couple of cubes. For me, I like the more ginger, the better. It's a little spicy, it's just like a nice little zing. This is how I make my non-spicy homemade hot pot broth. Ooh, that's like a tongue twister. So if you guys have been to all-you-can-eat hot pot places, usually there is a sauce station. I learned this from my friend who loves hot pot just as much as I do, and she taught me how to make my own sauce station at home. So here I have sesame peanut paste, and I'm going to give you essentially the Asian way of doing it, which is no measurements. Since it's just going to be my husband and I having hot pot, I'd recommend about 4 tablespoons of this peanut sauce, because what we're gonna do to it afterwards is add water until it becomes a smooth consistency where we add other condiments to it to have our sauce at home. All right. sauce station is almost done. First step, you start off with the sesame paste as your base. So I'm just gonna do, again, just Asian measurements here, whatever feels and seems right. This looks like it's enough. Maybe it's 3 or 4 tablespoons. And then of course I'm gonna do a heaping amount of garlic, about a tablespoon, a handful of green onions, or the herb of your choice. And everything else I would recommend use sparingly because there are some pretty strong flavors. You just want to add a little bit. So here I have the barbecue sauce, the fish paste, this bean curd as well, a little bit of leek sauce, a little bit of chili sauce, a few drops of sesame oil, a bit of rice vinegar to cut all the heavy ingredients. And for me, I personally like some hoisin sauce. It's not common to see this technically in a lot of, I guess, Asian dipping stations, but I like it. So this is how I would put together my sauce, but you make whatever sauce you want. Now, time for the mix. Give it a taste. See where you need adjustments. For me, I'd add a little bit more rice vinegar, sesame oil, some more green onions, and even some more spicy sauce, even though I'm not supposed to have too much. Pretty good. I think my sauce is ready. So this is what our setup looks like for home hot pot. And I'd recommend having hot pot with 4 people or more because it's a lot of work to not only cut, clean vegetables and set up the meats, but you get to try a lot more if you have more people. So here we have about 6 pounds of protein divided between the lamb, the beef fat slices, the fish ball with roe, pork balls, and the imitation crab meat. We have 2 types of mushrooms, shiitake and brown. We have napa cabbage, watercress, bok choy, and of course, our divided broth. We have spicy and non-spicy. It doesn't take long for lamb or the beef slices to cook up. So once you dump them in, they turn brown, they're good to go. And that usually takes less than a minute. This is what's left of our dinner. I think we consumed about 4 pounds of protein. The beef and the lamb are all gone. The broth has pretty much simmered down, as you can see. We did a pretty good job on the greens. I'm pretty happy about that. But we have leftovers for tomorrow, or whenever we decide to finish this all up. So I think that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed our narration of New York Mart and Sunrise and our homemade hot pot. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and let me know your thoughts below. Thanks.